Welcome to another video, and you saw already by the title, Fix Xiaomi Notification Delays for Good Part 2, or really now for good, because of course it had to happen after I tested everything. After I brought out the video, Xiaomi brought out HyperOS 3, and yeah, for whatever reason it's not working again as it was working before. Even though most of the settings are still valid, I was searching on my 17 Ultra for a way to make it work, and with HyperOS 3 I made it work now to get reliable notification even for chat applications like WhatsApp, Telegram and others. So in this video I will show you how it's done. Let's get started. Here I have my Xiaomi 17 Ultra. It works on the 17 Pro Max, it works on the 15 Pro, it works on the Mix Fold 4 I think that I have, and the 14 Ultra that I'm filming here right now. So first of all, some settings that you have to do on your phone in order to make it work. We go into settings, we go into notifications and status bar and app notifications. Notification style, and we choose Android here. That's important because with the classic one, it's more the Xiaomi style of kind of notifications. The Android ones, you can see I get a new notification. So it's working really, like YouTube for example is working here. You get those little arrow icons here, then you know you have the Android style. It has to be the Android style, it doesn't work with the other style. That's the first thing. The other thing that you want to do is for the specific apps that you have. You can either go, like for example, I can go into Telegram, click on this I button, enable auto start, under power, enable no restrictions. And you have to do this for all the applications that you want to have running in the background, that you want to receive notifications from. The other thing that I can highly recommend, and for some reason it was not here in my version, is go to notifications and enable notifications. If you want the notification badges, you can turn also this on. But make sure that for groups, for example, if you're in there, that it's also on the lock screen, because you want to have it on the lock screen. Then those notifications will arrive on time. And the same goes for other things, like I can go into Twitter and you will see that Twitter has other settings there. And there we go, notifications. You see I have badges turned on, but here you can see we have various different categories like incoming calls. I don't have it right now because incoming calls on Twitter, who's taking them? I'm not so crazy, but if I want to, I can turn it on and it will appear on the lock screen. This needs to be done in order to for it to appear on the lock screen. You can do it with other apps, by default it's turned off, which is sometimes nice because Reddit is like bothering me, for example, with lots of notifications and stuff that I really don't like. And it's a possibility that I can just say notifications, yeah, put it on the lock screen, or I don't want them on the lock screen. High priority notifications, show this on the lock screen, but not everything else. So I can finally, I can fine tune it in here. Another very important setting in settings is when you go under the battery tab and you go to additional features, there you have to turn off the nighttime mode, because the nighttime mode tries to auto detect if it's nighttime, if you're sleeping, and then it goes into a kind of deep sleep, and where it turns off some features. And this is like also, yeah, bound to notifications, and then you will not get any notifications. So turn this off, because it might sometimes trigger in the wrong times, like when you expect a call, you don't get the call, you open up the phone and then you see you have missed 3 calls because the phone was not ringing for some reason. That is very, very annoying, so keep this off. In terms of battery life, you don't lose anything. It's like turning it on or off. It's like 1 or 2%, which is like a minute or 2 that you win eventually. That's it, basically. So this is what I did on the phone. There's nothing much else that I did on the phone in regards to the notifications themselves to make them work. Now we come to the tricky part where some people failed last time because my explanation was probably a bit too explicit. We go and we first go onto device. We click on the OS version a few times until we have additional settings, and then we have the developer options turned on. And here you scroll down until you reach the USB debugging option. This needs to be turned on, as well as USB debugging security settings. This needs to be also turned on. In order for this to be turned on, you need to insert a SIM card in your Chinese device. Otherwise, it won't allow you to turn it on. So be aware of it. I have a SIM card inside. It doesn't have any connection there. It doesn't need to have any connection. It just needs to be a SIM card inside. So I took one of the older cards that I have there and tried it out with this. It works with this. And this is all the steps that you need to do here for this to work. The other thing now comes when you connect your device via USB Type-C to your laptop where you have ADB installed. If debugging is turned on, this should appear as soon as you connect your smartphone to your laptop or computer. USB debugging is on, and if it is not on, you can tap on it to either withdraw the debugging rights, or there will be a notification coming up where you say, okay, I want to allow my computer to have access to this device. So first of all, there is a tutorial, we'll link to it, how to install ADB on Windows, Mac OS and Linux. It's quite straightforward how to get it. There are links to it, how you can get this one going. Also going through the settings, how to enable the USB debugging there. And it's also showing you a screenshot how it will look like if you allow USB debugging on your device. The same will pop up on the Xiaomi as well. And it will give you some steps on how to check if the device is there. So ADB devices you can put into your command prompt. I've also opened up a command prompt there, terminal on Linux, how we call it, make it a bit bigger and show you the important steps. So first of all, with ADB devices, I check if my device is there. My device is there. If your device doesn't turn up, try another USB port. If you're using a laptop, don't use a docking station or anything like this. It might not work through a docking station. Just try to plug it in directly somehow, and then it might appear there. Then with ADB shell, we are changing from our local shell that looks like this to the phone's shell, to the phone's operating system. And I go in here, you see it's called Nezha, probably homage onto the movie that was pretty big in China. And anyway, I'm now on my phone. I can clear the screen here, and all the commands that I'm giving you right now are executed on the phone. So don't try to deal with any scripts. You don't need the scripts because it's not so hard. There are a few commands that I will link to that you can just execute. The basic command that you need to check out is a command that is and it starts with CMD settings command. This allows you to access the internal settings of your phone that are not exposed to the outside world or the graphical user interface. So we want to get something from the settings from the system table. And this is the cloud, what's it called? Cloud low latency whitelist. And if I hit now enter, you get a string. You get lots and lots of information there. This is where you can see eventually com Tencent MM, or here comwhatsapp.com, hey, or com WhatsApp. That's WhatsApp. So WhatsApp by default is already whitelisted. So WhatsApp shouldn't give you any issues at all whatsoever because it is already on the whitelist. But there are a few applications that you don't know eventually, or a few at the end that you might know that I added to this list, because this list is ending with here. So this is usually where it ends up. And I added, you can see the names are comma separated, com-twitter-android.org. How do I know it's called com-twitter-android.org or org Telegram Messenger or com Reddit front page? It doesn't make any sense to me. Or join Mastodon Android or Discord or whatever I added in here. Simple. There's a command for this, and it's using the package manager because it needs to be the package name. I gave you this already last time. There is a command here at the top, and I'm just copying it. It is like usually putting everything into the txt file, but we don't do this today. We just copy it until here. And this command you can just enter in here. And it's searching now for the applications like Discord, WhatsApp, Twitter, Mastodon, SMS, Reddit, WeChat. What else do we have in here? Zalo, Facebook, and GM. You can also search for GMS, doesn't matter. I hit enter here and you get a name of applications that are currently installed on your device that you can use. And those are the package names, as you can see here: Conf, Reddit, Reddit front page, Twitter, Android, Thought Crime, Secure SMS, which is Signal. And some other applications like this one here, I don't really know, but WhatsApp is in here, Telegram messages there, Instagram, Android. And so what we need to do, first of all, is copy this long text that we have here. Everything basically. I have it already in here, but you copy everything that you have here. Click on copy, and then I can just hit up to go up with the command, and I change the get, which just reads out what's inside, to put. And what we can do now is just insert all those things that we had. You can see there's a bit of a line break issue, but when you reach the end, what you have to do is press comma once, and then you add one of those package names here. Like if I want this here, I just add it there. And then I press enter, and I have now Facebook, Katana, whatever that is, added to this list. And that's it basically. You press enter, that's it. And now all the notifications should come on time because we put them into our cloud low latency whitelist. And we made all the other changes that I was talking earlier, because if you don't do all of this, then it won't work. And now all my WhatsApp messages, Telegram messages, even Instagram, if something's going on, Signal, Twitter tweets, and Reddit notifications will pop up on my screen on time, the same time as with my Sony, with my Pixel, or any other device that runs a global system. And I tried it. I tried it with lots of applications that I use day to day, and it's working just fine without any issues. And this is, I think, the best solution that I found so far. Like I said, I tested it on the Xiaomi 17 Ultra, 15 Pro, 14 Ultra, and I even have a Xiaomi 14 here that's lately also got HyperOS 3. I can also test it out on this one, but I'm pretty sure it will work as well. You don't have to deal with anything else. There are tons of videos out there that say, give all the applications all the permissions that they need. No. Why? It's super stupid, doesn't make any sense. You don't have to give all the applications all the permissions or all the notification permissions that are out there. This here is the only thing that you need. The cloud low latency whitelist, and when you've done this, you will get your notifications on time. I'm sure. That's it. A shorter video, hopefully. Hopefully you understand what I'm doing here. You can copy those commands. I will again put the link to this one here. But I will change it up maybe a little bit. I will maybe do another one where I just give you the first command, because there's so many people who did this command here, and some of them are suffering, especially because of the, the MIUI optimizations. If you turn MIUI optimizations off, your always on screen will be always on instead of like turning off, or be on demand. This is something that you might want, but you might run into other different issues. So ignore this. Most of those are outdated anyway, and they are either the options are not there anymore, or in terms of like device level list, for example, it is the default anyway nowadays. And if you made all the other changes, it will be fine. So I will create a new gist for you where I put all the commands in that you need to have. No script, you just enter those commands like I showed you manually here. It's not rocket science, it's easy to do so. just make sure that when you enter this and the package names, that you separate them by comma. Otherwise, the system doesn't know where the name ends or begins. So this is the only thing that you need to make sure. So you can see that here before the com Google Android GMS, there's a comma. I have the com Facebook Katana again, so I don't need it 2 times. And yeah, if you, but for some reason have a mistake or typed something wrong on error message appears, send me a screenshot to this error message, or just type in what the error message is if it's just 1 line, and I try to help you. Otherwise, I think this is now the most straightforward way to do things, and it's not so hard. Yes, you need a computer. Yes, you need ADB, you need to access your phone. That's a bit cumbersome, but maybe someone can figure out how to do this somehow automatically. I don't think you can do, because this system table, it needs to be writable, and you need to do it via ADB, or you need to allow access for an application to be able to allow this here, and this is then more complicated stuff that you need to enter. So if you're on ADB and connected to a device, then just do it directly there. And it's quite interesting to figure out what kind of cloud low latency whitelist there are. So if you don't like, for example, I don't com Tencent I know that this is probably QQ, Chinese Twitter equivalent. And actually this is QQ, and this is, I don't even know what it is. Somewhere there's WeChat as well. But if you don't want those, like Kugo, this is like a video platform similar to TikTok, Douyin, and such things in China. You don't want this to have the low latency whitelist. You can just remove it from the low latency whitelist. You don't need it. And the same goes for Baidu, Searchbox, or Taobao. If you don't use it, just remove it. Or the Sina News, which is like Chinese news. Alipay, Gphone, if you don't need it, or this Kiho browser, or Tencent MTT, the QQ reader. There's some weird kind of things going on. There are applications that you, Yoko, that you probably don't have installed here anymore if you globalized your Chinese device. You can also remove them just by not copying, or just remove them from this list of strings there. That's also possible if you don't want to do this. Yeah, hope this is straightforward and easy. Questions I answer in the comment section. Until the next time, bye.